Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality.
Welcome to the pod. Hello, y'all.
Hi.
To paint the scene for everybody, right now we're in our speakeasy, which is like
I just call it the bar.
the bar. Yeah. I think it's the coolest spot. Like, I feel like we don't use it enough
No.
because we're always out in the garden, always.
Yeah.
But the speakeasy and the cinema are two of my favorite things about the house, and I feel like I'm never in them.
No, they're very underrated.
Yeah.
Especially this room, I feel like apparently they used a lot more in the winter, but now that it's nice out, we're just outside. But like the other night when we were in here, that was my first time actually hanging out in here.
That's so crazy
Yeah.
to me. And you've been here like a couple months.
Yeah, going on 2 months.
Yeah, no, because this is such a cool spot.
Mm.
It's couches on one side and there's like a bar on the other side. And then next door there's like a cinema room. And then on this floor there's like laundry and a gym. And it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So that kind of goes into the first question, like, how do we know each other?
Well, you moved in 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I've been living at Cohabs for 3 months, and Sasha came along and moved in, and we've been hanging out.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Okay, to give everyone background too, Cohabs is like a community living company where they have houses all over Paris, but also a bunch of different cities.
Yeah, London, New York, Spain, like different places.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have like houses where people can it's like an adult dorm or an adult frat house where everyone's like a working professional and we all live in this house and it's like we share common spaces but we all have our own room,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. After spending a couple months alone, I was like, oh, community living is super important to me. I want to live in community with people, and I was like, this seems super cool. But like everyone in the house is so chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we literally met 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago. Can you imagine? Yeah. So Cohabs is fucking cool though. I feel like everyone here is so nice.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be like this. Like, I lived alone for I think about 7 years, never had roommates, never stayed in a dorm in college or anything like that. So this is my first time ever living with other people other than like my siblings.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't want to live here. I was upset because I was looking for an apartment. I was renting a whole place. It was great, but then the guy wanted to move back. And I couldn't find an apartment in Paris just as the paperwork for expats can be pretty tough. But I found Cohabs and it was like my last resort, but I actually am really enjoying it. Like, it's turned out way better than I expected. I really enjoy the community aspect. And that was the thing that like I didn't think I would enjoy because I am very much like someone who feels good being by myself, very independent, lived alone for so long. But no, it works out so perfectly. And I think a lot of it has to do with the people. Yeah.
Big time. Because if we hated everyone in the house, it'd be a disaster.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I have to try really hard not to think about how dirty the kitchen is. But other than that, I love it. And I already don't like cooking, so I want to cook way less.
Yeah, that's fair.
Being in there. So, but other than that, I love it. I have to like really not think about how dirty the surfaces are.
The small kitchen is a lot cleaner. The new guy keeps cleaning it like spotless every time he cooks. So it's amazing.
That's so amazing. Okay, so for background, we have a big kitchen, which is basically like 2 kitchens and a bunch of tables, and then a small kitchen, which is attached to the living room, which is like the size of a regular kitchen with a living room attached. And then they have like one table. And the big kitchen is so intimidating because you're so exposed and it's so dirty.
Yeah.
And I do my best to clean up. Like I always clean up after myself, but some people just don't.
No, and they just leave shit everywhere. People don't. And the other thing with that one is that everything is so spread out. And I feel like the planning of the big kitchen isn't good because there's no garbages on one side. You have to walk across the kitchen to throw something out. So if you're like chopping something, you just want to, no, you have to make a whole trip to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can never find anything in there. And yeah, it's very exposed. Like, I feel like in the small kitchen, you get a bit of privacy. If you don't want to see someone, you just want like a quick cup of tea or something and go back to your room. It's much easier than if you were to go to the big kitchen because there's usually someone in there.
Yeah. I don't like the big kitchen. The small kitchen is like a coveted spot. Yeah. Everyone wants a spot at the small kitchen, and I'm waiting for someone to move out who lives in the small kitchen. Or maybe I'll just start bringing my shit over there and start cooking over there.
People do that. Max did that for a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now he's fully in the I guess he's like half and half, but he was fully in the big kitchen and then would sometimes cook in the small one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I want to cook anyway. I'm doing my best to cook as little as possible. Like, absolutely. What I'm also curious about, which is not on my list of questions, but how do you deal with living in community like this as an introvert?
Yeah. See, that was one of my big hangups about moving in here was like, I am not equipped to deal with people all the time. But I don't know. I just feel like I've made such good connections here with the people, just like spending one-on-one time with different people that now when I'm in a group, it can still be a little bit overwhelming for me. So I like take my time if I have to feel the vibe. But I feel like I've developed really good connections with individual people so that when we're in a group, I don't feel anxious or I don't know. I feel like I've opened up a lot just because people here are easy to talk to and I don't feel like I need to, not that I, as an introvert, I don't feel that I need to hide away or not speak, but it's typically a bit easier. But I think also just like moving to Paris, I've become a lot less of an introvert just because everything is outside my comfort zone. So every day is a little bit of an adventure. But yeah, it's like I'm very surprised at how well I'm doing with all these people every day.
Yeah, because it's nonstop.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. Like, as an extrovert, I'm freaking bright, but it's my health is not because I won't sleep
Yeah.
to hang out with someone. Like Tejas the other day. Tejas is one of our roommates or housemates. He was like leaving, he was on vacation, whatever, and he was gonna come down and have like a drink and like a cigarette, whatever. And I was about to go to sleep and he's just come out with me. I was like, fine. And he's like, I can always count on you to hang out.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're ready to go to sleep and someone's let's hang out, you're like, yes. And that's the thing is my sleep is suffering because I just want to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And it truly never stops. Like, it does not matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, someone is up outside hanging out or in the kitchen or whatever. Like, someone is around.
For sure.
Yeah. So, like, I'm thriving in that way, but I can't imagine as an introvert, like, being like, no, I need.
Yeah. I feel like I also get FOMO. So,
Right?
even though I am an introvert, I still want to be like included. So I think that's pushing me to be more extroverted and just go along with people if they're, I don't know, going to run an errand and they're like, do you want to come? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Just because I'm realizing that I do enjoy people's company a lot more than I thought I'd fit. Which sounds really bad, but
No, it's true.
yeah. Yeah.
And the FOMO is very real. If people are hanging out outside or whatever, I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
For sure.
And like, I feel like I'm missing something and
Yeah.
I don't. Even at the same time, like, everyone's very okay with everyone just like having their own. Okay, guys, I'm going tonight, going to bed. Okay, bye. See you.
Yeah.
No big deal. It's not like you're like, it's the same shit every night. It's also not like any revelations are happening out there. We're talking about the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
Like, the boys 2 nights ago, were you out here for this conversation? They were sitting out there debating temperatures of weather. Oh, well, if it's snowing, but then it becomes rain, why is it not snow when it hits the ground? And they sat here debating this for 30 minutes. And I'm like, guys, you realize this is, you can Google this. And they're like, no, but it's more fun to talk about it and try to figure it out. And I was like, that's really cute, but also,
Yeah. It's just nonsense.
it's just not, there's absolute nonsense. Are we talking about anything actual? Like, I don't,
Not really.
no.
No. Sometimes people will give an update on their day or like their life, but it's not like you can't get that update later too. So it's really nothing that we're missing out on. It's just people's company. And then if something funny happens and you hear about it the next day, you might be like, oh, but damn, I wish that was like part of the joke. But
Yeah.
other than that, like there's no real thing that we're missing out on.
No, but it's all in our heads for real. But it's so real. The FOMO is so real in this house. Okay. So what's your story?
My story?
Yeah.
I'll give a little background about myself. I'm Canadian. I'm going to be 31 on Friday, which is crazy. But I lived in Toronto my whole life. I was born in the States because my parents were there for work. My whole family, everyone else was born in Canada. And then we moved back to Canada when I was 2. So I do have American citizenship. But I'm mostly, like, my passport is Canadian. It says I'm Canadian citizen. Just a little fun fact. But yeah, I lived in Toronto my whole life. I always wanted to come to Paris. I was in French immersion, so all my classes were in French up until high school, and then we started having more English things, like math was finally in English, and like science was in English. Not that I stayed in science very long, but yeah, so I don't know. I feel like French culture was always like around me, and I did an exchange in Lyon when I was 13, and then came to Paris a couple times and decided I wanted to live here, and I love it. It's been great. Yeah, I left my job to come here. I didn't have any dependents, like no boyfriend, no kids. I was just renting a place. So everything just made sense at the time to take this opportunity because it was something I was thinking about for years. And then, yeah, things just lined up and I made the jump and I moved here and I've been traveling around a little bit. I start a new job tomorrow. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. It's like when your only responsibility is paying rent and you can do that anywhere, go anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Like, why stay?
Yeah. I felt like I outgrew Toronto. Obviously, there's a lot to do there and things are always changing, but it's just, I needed a change. And it's not that I always lived downtown my whole life, but I was living downtown before I left. I didn't love my area. It was nice, but it was also more of a touristy area. So there were tons of people everywhere all the time. And I just didn't feel like I was having fun in Toronto anymore. So I figured, like, why not try Paris? It's a place I always wanted to live. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I totally get you. But different. Yeah. So if you had 3 words to describe yourself, what would they be?
Thoughtful. It's my first one. There's so many to pick from.
Yeah.
I'm creative and silly.
I could see that.
I'm not that silly, but I feel like when my silly side comes out, like, she's silly,
Yeah.
but she doesn't come out all the time.
Okay.
I think that's like the Gemini in me. One side of me is very introverted. The other side is like very silly.
Yeah.
And so if you get to see the silly side, you're like in my good books. Like, I feel comfortable around you.
Yeah.
And I can be myself. And like when I'm with my family and like my very close friends, I'm very silly. But that doesn't come across if you've only known me for a few weeks or like a short time, because
Yeah.
that's when my introverted side is out.
That's fair. But I feel like maybe it's because I like see you in groups of people that you've known for a couple months.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so silly with the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, it's so, you're just very chill. Also, it's like the joke is always, you always continue the banter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that. I see all 3 of them, which is pretty cool because I've only known you for 2 weeks. I think they come across. I haven't seen you like creatively in progress, but I know that's there because of what we've talked about.
Yeah.
You know, like you
For
also
sure.
produce content, and it's also like the creative aspect of it all for you is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite part. So
Yeah, because I've also looked at your dating profiles and I know that you're into art and fashion and music and anything from the 70s. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so what's the best piece and the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
I don't know that I've received that much bad advice
Yeah.
in my life. And if I have, I've gone to therapy and fixed it. So like, I haven't had like awful advice that like has stuck with me through different years. But maybe, okay, sorry. I guess like when people tell me like, just go for it. Because that's not who I am.
Okay.
And I can appreciate like spontaneity and living in the moment and trying new things and all of that. But if I'm talking to someone about something I want to do or like a situation and they're like, just go for it, that's not who I am. So it's not bad advice, like in generally, but in context, it's bad advice because I'm someone who likes to think through everything, very type A. I like a schedule, I like a list. So for someone to just say, go for it, or like, just go with the flow. What time does the flow start? Like, what time does it
does the
end?
flow start?
Like, what are we wearing to the flow? I need more information. I like to have context. I like to make a plan. And not that I like to overthink, but I overthink. So I need some time to think things through before I actually do something. So not that it bugs me when people say that, but I feel like it's not always like the best advice because do you not know me? Because
Yeah.
that's not who I am.
Not me today being like, just go. Just go.
That's different.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, just go for it, Richelle.
Yeah.
But like, it is true. I can see that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm also a type A bitch.
Okay.
But I'm trying to meet type B Sasha this year.
Yeah. I feel like I've met her.
Try my best.
Yeah. No, she's out here. She's doing great.
Yeah. Type B Sasha, she thrives. I'm like, whatever. They're like, where do you want to go to? Like, last night we were all at a bar and we wanted to go to another bar. And the guy asked me, he said, well, where do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. Wherever the group wants to go. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
in for the vibes.
Yeah. But see, if no one had said anything and we all just kept talking about it, I would start getting overwhelmed and be like, okay, well, someone has to make a plan. So I just took charge. I was like, we're going to this place. You can come if you want. This is where it is.
Yeah.
Let's go. Someone has to make a plan. So typically I end up, especially in like group projects and stuff, I would end up as like the leader of the project because everyone would just like start talking about random shit or like brainstorming. I'm like, okay, but no, can we make a plan first? Who's doing what parts of this are important? Like
No.
So I end up in like leadership positions, but it's only because I want to be in charge of and take control. I like control. So
I understand. Yeah, can relate. Like the group project thing. Oh my God. Like working with people in group projects was just the worst. Like there might have been a handful of group projects where I actually was working with someone who I was like, oh wow, you can actually do your share.
Yeah.
Whoa. And most of the time it just ended up being me doing the whole thing. But there were only like a handful of times where I would like work with someone who I actually enjoyed working with.
Yeah.
And especially in college, like you could work with those same people over
For
and over
sure.
and over again. But yeah, no, that was definitely me in the group projects.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's me just in general. But this summer, I'm like trying to take a more laissez-faire, like, because we're friends. But it's hard. It's really difficult.
It is hard. I feel like I'm getting better at it. Like me this time last year, absolutely not. Like half of the stuff I've been doing, like she would have been like, I'm scared. I'm not going. So we're working on it. But I still like to, I like to have a plan. I like to be in control.
And what's the best piece of advice?
Yeah, best piece of advice. I don't know is your podcast censored?
How do you mean?
If I swear, is that...
Oh my God, say fuck as many times as you want. Please, this is my podcast. Can you imagine if I couldn't curse on my own podcast? I would fully implode. Like, I would fully implode. I've had so many family members too be like, don't curse on your podcast, don't curse on your vlogs. And I was like, have we met?
Yeah.
Have you never talked to me? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
I don't understand who you think. They're like, well, you're trying to appeal to everyone. I'm like, no, who said that?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, you can say fuck as many times as you want. Go ahead.
Best piece of advice is something that my sister says to me whenever I start like spiraling or something. It's just fuck them. If someone doesn't like what you're doing, fuck them. If you don't get the job you want, fuck them.
Yeah, for real.
Who cares? And that's my big thing is that I care too much. And I care about like how I'm perceived and what people think. And it traps me a lot of the time. So whenever like that's her thing is that she'll just be like, fuck them. So what? It doesn't matter. And I've been like coping with using that as a coping mechanism, just thinking like, I can't change how people view me. And if I do try, then I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. If I try and change people's perception of me by adapting my behavior and stuff to try and make them like me, then I'm manipulating them.
Yeah.
Was how it was explained to me. Because, yeah, basically, if someone doesn't like you and you try and appeal to them and try and be someone you're not to talk to them or whatever, like you change your behavior, you monitor yourself, you're not your full self around them, you're manipulating them. You're not manipulating yourself or giving yourself any favors. You're basically lying to them. You're not being who you are.
Oh.
And if they don't like you, then fuck them.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So there's no point in trying to manipulate people into liking you, because if you do that, then you don't win anyway. So like in that situation, fuck them works really well. If I have a bad experience with a stranger, fuck them. But usually I'd sit there and I'd be like, oh no, like I said the wrong thing. This person's gonna be mad at me. I have a really bad time when people are mad at me because I like just the way I grew up, my family dynamics and stuff. If someone was mad at me, I felt like I had to fix it. And I was very much a people pleaser. So when I think there's an issue, someone's upset with me, there's conflict, even if someone says the like most minor negative thing to me in a joke, I take it super personally, super sensitive, because I'm like, I've done something wrong. I need to fix it. But no, that's their problem.
Yeah.
I'm being who I am, and I can't change their behavior or their thoughts. And most of the time it's like their problem anyway. Like it's not, whatever they think of you is not up to me, and it's not my problem.
Yeah.
So.
No, actually. And I think the overthinking part's really difficult and something I can relate to a lot, because it's like any little minor thing that someone says or someone does, and I'm like, I really overthink it a lot. And
yeah.
what's the weird part is that typically it's people I know like the less I know you, the more I overthink it. Because it's
Yeah.
if I know someone really well and they like make a comment or make a joke or whatever, and I'm like, oh, like that's just them or just whatever, and I know not to overthink it. But like when I don't know someone that well and they like say something or do something, I'm like trying to suss it out and I don't understand, and it really fucks with your head.
Totally.
Because then I'm also just, well, how can I get them to like me? How can I act this way so that they'll want to hang out or blah, blah, blah. And then it's, well, they just don't want to hang out.
Yeah.
And then it's, well, okay, fuck them. Oh, but it can relate a lot. We have a confession box that Richelle and our other housemate Max started, which we're having Max on soon, so stay tuned. But it's a box where we have a question every week and people put in answers like anonymously. Well, anonymous or not, your choice. But you could put in whatever. Like first question was like, who's had sex in the gym? Last one was most embarrassing moment you've had in the house. This week is something you wish you hadn't heard in the house.
Yeah.
I wrote a second one today. It's so dumb. I'm excited. Last week, I'm not gonna lie, ChatGPT helped me with that one.
Okay.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
that was creative.
It was.
And I was like, that's a ChatGPT question. Yeah, we love this confession box. But it's not a gossip box at all.
No. But I think because there was a little bit of conflict that happened last week because people's names were dropped and it turned into a little bit of drama, that actually really got to me. And I felt awful about it. Like,
really?
I think that's partially why I was so sick, was because like 2 big emotional things happened. Like that was one of them. And I felt awful. I felt responsible for hurting people's feelings. Like,
Wow, hey.
it really got to me. Like, I already feel like shit about this whole thing. And I contemplated like stopping the box, like passing it off to someone else. I was like, I don't want to be affiliated with this anymore. It's hurting people's feelings. I don't want to. It was just supposed to be something funny, but now it's getting too far. And I don't want to be part of this anymore.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a people pleaser. I want people to like me. I don't want people's feelings to get hurt. And try and be thoughtful. And yeah, it was just supposed to be something funny. There's a question you can answer. You don't have to. It's anonymous. No one's putting in gossip about other people in this box. But it just really got to me because I didn't want to be a mean girl.
Yeah.
And I feel,
But you didn't write the mean thing.
no. But the fact that I gave opportunity for someone to be mean made me feel like I was responsible.
Yeah.
And only like within the last 2 days have I been like, no, you're okay. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just supposed to be something funny.
You
Like-
didn't do jack shit wrong. Like the person who wrote that thing is responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't even, there was no malicious intent
No,
behind it.
not at all.
It just got taken out of context and things got carried away with. And that's what happens sometimes. But it was really hard because I didn't want to be someone who's like asking people to not asking people to be mean, but like allowing that kind of thing to turn into something mean or laughing at people's expenses, because that's not who I feel that I am. I feel like I'm a very thoughtful, empathetic, caring person. And the only reason I like to hear people's secrets is because I like when people confide in me, when they feel comfortable enough to share things. But I'm not running around telling other people. Like that's, so anyway, I don't know where that came from, but
That's
it
okay.
was really bothering me. Like
I'm glad you said something. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in the last year?
that I'm capable of more than I think I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've taken so many chances this year and done so many things outside my comfort zone that I never would have attempted before. Like I loved my comfort zone. I loved living alone, playing it safe, having my routine. But yeah, I've realized over the last year that there's so many things that I can do that I would have been scared of before that I can easily do now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. And I think it's so true. Like, I think we really underestimate ourselves, but oh my God, it drives me nuts being underestimated.
Yeah.
Even, like by myself, I honestly think I sometimes overestimate myself. Not always. It's like both. I feel like I go on the scale. Like it's never like perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. That's, I guess everybody. Maybe it comes a time. I don't know. I don't know, bro. How have you seen that show up in like just like moving here, or have you seen it show up in like other ways?
Moving here, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I went to Italy by myself, and something that I was always not nervous about, but a little apprehensive was traveling somewhere where I don't speak the language by myself, because I've traveled to France and like other English speaking places and had no problem because I speak the language. But I found it a little intimidating to go somewhere alone where like I don't speak it, and how do I interact with people there and get my point across and just go about daily life
Yeah.
when I don't know any of the language. So that's something that like I went and it was fine and I had a great time. So there's that. Even like yesterday going to the Olympics and like actually like I didn't participate that much, but I
Yeah.
still played in some of the games.
Yeah.
And that's something I would have completely avoided before. I would have just sat on the sidelines and be like, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna sit here because I like don't want to, I don't know, it's uncomfortable for me to, I'm not an athlete. So I get not embarrassed, but to do something like Olympics and all these games and be on a team where I know that I'm not skilled in what we're doing makes me really uncomfortable. But I'm glad I did it because it was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Wait, we need to give context on this Olympics thing. Okay, so the company Cohabs, where we're living, we said they have houses all over Paris, all over the world, whatever. And yesterday they had this like Cohabs Olympics where all the houses came together. We played like a bunch of games like beach volleyball, whatever the fucking tuk-tuk ball is, whatever. Like spike ball, ping pong, dodgeball, which by the way was not dodgeball.
No, it was not dodgeball.
And our team, our house has been talking about this. They were talking about this for a fucking week. Like so many of us are so highly competitive. There's so many gym rats in this house. Like it's a frat house. I feel like I'm thriving because I feel like at heart, like I've always been a little, I don't know if I'm like secretly jealous or I've always felt like a little, I guess jealous of boys like in the frat culture. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I'd fit in so well.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm truly can like have the frat boy side of my personality come out. Like
Yeah.
I will fucking dominate at beer pong.
Yeah.
Like I love a party, love a whatever. And like here I feel like I'm getting that experience, what it's like to live in a nicer frat house at
Mhm.
least. Oh my God. So we were winning. And we were winning. And then after the second half, whatever, when they were telling all the final scores, they said we were in fourth. And our team was like, what?
We didn't even, there wasn't even a reaction. It's just Mika, Clément, like just the guys all looking at each other being like, no, that can't be true. I was kind of like, oh, too bad. Like I'm accepting it, whatever. Because we didn't play that great in the second half.
Yeah.
But they were all just, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever.
You just, like, you guys do your thing. Even in the beginning when they were trying to figure out the teams, like they were like
yeah.
in on, they're like, no, we can't separate. But then they ended up kicking the girls off, and then the girls ended up being part of the team anyway.
Yeah.
So like whatever. It's fine. Not really fine, but a little fine. Whatever. So the boys fucking go up to the people organizing this thing and make them show them all of the scores for all of the games. And they're like, that's wrong and that's wrong.
And they were wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fair, but it was just hilarious because there was like 5 guys. I have a photo of them all crowded around the poor woman. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The poor woman just like on her laptop, and these guys are all like around her being like,
No, didn't she say it? It was somebody. I mean, and I'm coming in first, and now we have $500 to spend on the house, and we're trying to buy a pool for the garden.
where it's gonna go, I don't know.
I
But
feel like we could put it where. See, the thing, like the only place it would work is where the sacred smoke circle is.
yeah,
But where do we move the sacred
I
smoke
know.
circle?
That's the problem. We still have to have one. So,
We need a sacred smoke circle.
yeah.
Unless we move like those tables.
Where?
I don't know.
Yeah. Because people use the tables and the circle, so it's a tricky one.
Stay tuned. Stay fucking tuned, yo. Okay. Is there a childhood dream that you like still have?
Yeah.
What is it?
I always wanted to be, it's like multi parts. Growing up, I really loved acting out movies as I watched them.
Okay.
Like I would watch the same movie over and over again, but then I would get props and set up the scene.
Yeah. The
And,
way I
like-
was the mermaid in Little Mermaid.
Yeah. There was a time my mom came in and I'm lying on the ground with my arms crossed like this, and she's, Ricky, like Richelle, like trying to talk to me, and I'm fully unresponsive, and she's, I'm going to call an ambulance. And at that point I had to be like, no, I'm Sleeping Beauty. Like I was so in character that I would not respond to her. And she's, are you dying? What? I'm like, no, I'm Sleeping Beauty. You're ruining the moment. Anyway, I always loved acting and singing. Singing was a huge one. I like did a whole, when you're in like grade 8 and you have to start thinking about careers and they make you like pick a career to study or something. I did a whole project on being a singer and like the possibilities of what I would study and what the like jobs are and things like that. So I guess like a mix of musical theater because I love acting and I love
Yeah.
singing. And when I was really little, I was a lot more extroverted
Yeah.
and I would do those things
Okay.
and be silly with anyone. But then it's when I started going through puberty, of course, that like
All the confidence just gets zapped out of
Exactly.
you when
Yeah.
you're in fucking puberty.
Yeah.
The worst thing ever.
so that's when things took a turn and like I took acting lessons and singing lessons up until like high school, I think, but I became so much more timid and like shy and uncomfortable sharing that side of me. But I wanted to pursue it full time. Like I almost went to an arts high school. It was either I could continue French immersion and go to that high school with all my friends and stuff, or I apply for the arts high school where I could do musical theater. And I was really contemplating it, but I decided to stay in French because I wanted to like, I was like, I've already gotten this far in French, like I can do musical theater outside of school. Not that I really went anywhere with it, but I would still love that. And I went to a bar in the Fifth, I think, a few months ago, and there was a guy playing piano and like a girl singing. And the whole time I'm like, I wish I could do that. I want to do that. I want to be like a jazz club singer. Like that would be amazing. It's a dream I've always had. I've looked into doing more lessons here because it's been many years, but it's just that it's like uncomfortable and the fear of judgment. But I would still love, like, anytime my friends in like TV and movie production courses and stuff needed someone to be in something, I always did it. My brother studied photography and he had to do projects where they had to like film videos and stuff. And he's 12 years older than me, so I was a little girl at that point. But like,
Yeah.
I was in all of them. Like, it was just my favorite thing. Like, I love to, and I think this is where my love of content creation comes from too, because I can create a little world and like set design, costume design, music. Like I make a whole little like movie almost to post online. And yeah, it's typically me just like in a dress on a street or something, but like I get to express like almost a different character and create characters and create scenes, and I love that. And I would still absolutely love to act and to sing, and that's still something that like I really want to pursue, but I just keep not doing it.
It sounds like you need to do it.
Yeah. Like I used to get so sad watching America's Got Talent or American Idol or like any of those kind of talent shows. Like I never really watched them, but sometimes my mom would and she'd be like, "Oh, look at this person," whatever. And I would just get so sad and jealous
Yeah.
because I wish I could do that. I wish that was me. This person is so good. They're on this stage, like they're risking it all. They're doing what I want to do. And yeah, I would just get jealous and I'd be like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, they're really good. Wish I was that good. Wish I was on something doing that, making like actually pursuing this."
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just never really took it anywhere.
Right. It's not too late now, especially if you want to like sing in bars or whatever. Start small like that. Like open mics or even fucking like those karaoke bars where you go in whatever.
I just feel like it's been so long since I've actually performed. Like I did recitals when I did singing lessons, but I never really performed.
Yeah.
I did like an open mic in university a few years ago. My friend was like, "If I do a comedy set, you have to sing." So we made a deal. And I sang, and then there wasn't anyone like signing up after. So I went up again after, like twice. So I was like, that was fun. I'm going to keep doing it. And I was nervous because I hadn't sung in front of people in a long time. So I never actually know if I'm good or not. And I don't want to be one of those people that's, "Oh yeah, I can sing." And then they sing and it's awful. And you're like, "Oh no, like how do we tell her?" So that's something I've always been nervous about. And I think that's why I don't do that, because it's been so long since I've trained my voice and stuff. Even when I just sing in my room, I'm like, "Oh no, does Elma think that like I have an awful voice?" And she just feels bad because like I'm singing and no one wants to tell me that I'm actually really bad at this. So it's like a weird thing where I really want to, but I'm also just nervous because I'm out of practice, and maybe it's always just been in my head that I'm good at this.
Feel fear, do it anyway. Like
Yeah.
fuck them for real.
Yeah.
Like just try it. What's I don't know if it's helpful for you to have like people around you who know you or people like strangers. Sometimes I feel like strangers are almost better because
Yeah.
like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think about me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes I would look up like open mics in the city. I would look up bars where like people can go up and sing. There's this bar in New York, which if we ever go to New York together, I have to take you to this bar
Okay.
because it's a piano bar. But then people from everyone who works at the bar like is trying to make it in
Okay.
Broadway. So like people will come up and sing, but then also people from that are at the bar will go up and sing. And like
Cool.
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a fun environment. It's like one of my favorite bars ever. It's called the Duplex
Okay.
in the West Village, one of my favorite spots ever. But that's definitely a great bar. And like even just karaoke spots where you can just go and like sing, like just get used to it.
Yeah. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, just get used to it. Just go and try it. Or even if you want to be in jazz, whatever, I would just start going to jazz clubs and
Yeah.
start chatting with the band after.
Well, it's not even that I want to be in jazz. It's just that it's enough. That's
Yeah.
something. And I do enjoy singing that style. But yeah, I just need to get into it again.
Yeah. No, it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, but do something with it at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there something that you used to desire that's now really normal in your life?
Something that kind of manifested for me.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot. Like living in Paris was one for sure. And sometimes I still have to pinch myself and be like, girl, you did it. Like you actually live here. You've been here for so long. You're enjoying it. You just got a job here. This is real. Like it's not just a fantasy anymore. Like you're actually here. I have to have those moments sometimes because otherwise I just go through the day and then I forget. And it's no, like I did this thing that I wanted to for years. I should be proud of that. So that's one of them for sure. I think talking to people, like being more extroverted. Growing up when I was going through it and like a super shy, quiet kid, I wouldn't even put my hand up in class if I knew the answer. Like it was there, my teachers would like have conversations with my parents because I was so shy. And to be like, I always wanted, I wish I was confident. I wish I could like just talk to people. I wish I could be popular and like just have all these different friends and whatever. And I think that even though I'm not the most extroverted person, I've come a long way. And to even be doing this right now, that's something I wouldn't have done before.
Yeah.
Like talking to new people at bars, like even there's times when I'll be on the metro or like on the street and two people will be having a conversation and like they're asking a question or like they can't find their way or it sounds like I'm eavesdropping. I'm not eavesdropping, but it's always like an obvious situation where two people like are trying to figure something out, but I know the answer. I'll just be like, oh, excuse me, like I heard you talking about this. I just wanted to let you know like this is the answer, whatever, like it's that way or you have to go to this floor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me that I will just like interrupt strangers and be like, oh, hey, let me help you. I know what it is you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not because like of a job or anything. It's just like random situations where they'll be like, oh, I don't know, where's the bathroom? Do you see it anywhere? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh, hey, the bathroom's over here. And they're like, thanks so much. It's such a normal interaction for me now. But
Yeah.
I would have never done that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Get it. I've been growing so much. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the next step is fucking singing.
Yeah, I guess so.
By the end of the summer, we're going to get you singing. If you were to go back to your 27-year-old self, what
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
Trying to think of what that phase of my life looked like. So that would have been like 4 years ago. I was in university still because I changed degrees a bunch of times. So I was in post-secondary for 9 years, which was a bit ridiculous. I think when I was 27, I felt like I hadn't accomplished anything. I felt like I was waiting for life to start because I was still in school. My friends had all graduated and were working full-time jobs, but I was still in school trying to get my degree, working part-time jobs. Like I felt like I had this big list of things I wanted to do that I hadn't done yet. And even just like little things, but I just felt like I was waiting for my life to begin. And I was so frustrated because I just felt so behind and just like I was stuck in a cycle of going to class, coming home. But that's what life is when you're a student. So I think I would tell my 27-year-old self, it gets better. That was a super frustrating time, but I had to go through that to learn the things that I learned and to be able to have the freedom I have now. Because I just felt really trapped. I felt, okay, like my whole life, I've just been in school. If I was to die tomorrow, what have I done? I've gone to college. Cool.
Yeah.
What else have I done? And sure, I have an impact on my friends and family and all of that kind of thing, but I felt like I hadn't really done anything noteworthy, and I felt like I was missing out. So yeah, I think I'd tell myself, like, it'll come. You're on your own journey. You just have to trust the journey. And if something doesn't happen, there's a reason. Like, things don't, like, if you have to wait 2 years to do something you want to do, it's probably for a good reason. If you pushed through and tried to do it at that time anyway, maybe it wouldn't have worked out. Maybe you wouldn't meet the people you were supposed to meet.
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason. And if plans get delayed, or if, like, you feel stuck, just keep going through it, and things will change, but everything happens for a reason, and just hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like going from 27 to 31 now, like there have been, or almost 31, do you feel like in that time there have been noteworthy things that have built up your trust in the journey?
I think so. Yeah. So I graduated. I moved downtown, which, like, isn't a huge thing, but I got out of my little suburb, so that felt like a big thing to me. I moved to Paris. I've done a lot of traveling. I was in a serious relationship. I, like, had a couple, like, big girl jobs. I've had some family pass away, which, like, always gives you a different perspective. Like, feel like there's a lot of stuff that I've been able to do now that I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Those are just some of the examples.
Yeah.
Like the bigger picture kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. If future you were to come back to this moment, what advice would you give yourself now?
It's not that deep.
Yeah, for real.
I've been so in my head the last few weeks, overthinking every little thing and getting so nervous, and even, like, just trying to find a job here and then finding a job but it not being my dream job, and it's not that deep. And I just have to keep reminding myself that. It's hard to believe right now, but I think in a few years, looking back, I'll be like, yeah, it wasn't that deep. Like, those stupid comments someone made to you, it wasn't deep. The job you had over the summer that year, like, it wasn't deep.
Yeah.
Everything will sort itself out. And I don't need to take things so seriously all the time.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Words to live by, and words I also need as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be don't need to overthink it.
No, it doesn't have to be a big deal.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
No one's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah, actually.
That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I need to be reminded of a lot. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm always thinking, oh, people are dissecting every word I'm saying. I said something and now they're, like, in the other room thinking about it. And, oh, those people are laughing now. It's because I did something. Like, no. It's not about me.
No.
No one's thinking about me as much as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're all in our own little world. Like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Oh my God.
It was so fun.
It was so much fun. I feel like I got to know you better, which is cool too. Yeah. Especially since I feel like I've known you longer than 2 weeks, but shit's wild, y'all.
It is crazy.
Oh my God. Anyway, y'all, thanks for listening. We'll be back.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.